Hi everyone, my name is Rashid Kibriya. I am a PhD student at University of Florida. I am working at Florida Institute for Cybersecurity Research, FICS, and I was an adjunct lecturer at the Department of Tripoli BUET. So welcome everyone to my another demo presentation on my another developed tool. I call it RK MSAP assembler because it is actually targeted to certain assignment of the Department of Tripoli BUET. So let's start without any delay. So this PDF is actually from Tripoli department, and it is mainly this project is mainly done as a part of a theory course Tripoli 315, which has been converted maybe. So when I was actually an undergraduate student, this course was offered in the sixth semester, that means in level 3 term 2, but most probably this is now offered in a level 4 term 1, that means in the seventh semester. So this project is actually so much interesting, and it is an upgraded version of simple as possible computer, which we mainly describe as SAP computer. So it has actually another name, a formal name. It is mainly called modified simple as possible computer because it consists of so many instructions in addition to the SAP1, SAP2 instructions. The and the target of this project is to enable the students to get an overview of the uh, processor of a very basic processor and 8-bit computer. It is actually a microprocessor, you can see, because in this project they try to develop hardware of this processor and also build some software. My focus is only on the software part. This software part is actually called assembler because it converts some assembly code written in a text file to some machine code, and this machine code needs to be understandable by this 8-bit processor the students are going to develop. My focus is on this assembler design. I have developed this tool here. Not that much sophisticated, it is not that much sophisticated as my previously developed tool. I have made this very simple. I have not included advanced features. It only operates with the basic principles and everything. My another tool, the RK8085 assembler, that is much more sophisticated. It is way more sophisticated than this because that RK8085 assembler is very uh, uh, it is much comparable to the commercial tools. Though I have not implemented almost everything, I have actually implemented the most important and the main part of this assembler. The same thing I have done here too, but with a little bit upgrade. Just for I have actually added some certain kind of syntax analysis, very simple syntax analysis in my implementation for this RK MSAP assembler tool. So just to move on, you can get this PDF directly from my YouTube channel. I will upload there. And another thing is here that the first portion is the hardware design. The students need to design this computer using Proteus. They only have to simulate this. They do not need to implement this with hardware, real hardware. They just need to simulate and show the teacher that everything is working fine as expected. It is, and each and every students are assigned 16 instructions, and the full thing is according to his or her student number. So this is the main design problem. It has stated what the students need to do. Everything is here, the submission deadline. My main focus here is the uh, assembler part that I will describe within a minute. So here is another important notice. The assembler needs to be implemented with either MATLAB or C or C++ or Python, any programming language the students prefer. He is open to implement his assembler within any language. For my assembler, I have actually chosen Python because Python is a very powerful scripting language. I have also implemented this with MATLAB, but I will not show that now. I will only talk about this Python based RK MSAP assembler. The main target of this assembler is to convert the provided assembly language code, that is the MSAP assembly language code, to machine code. So here is an important thing I will describe within a minute. I will talk about it. So just go through this. These MSAP has some specifications, the design specifications, and these design specifications are for the hardware implementation. That means the implementation of the whole circuit in Proteus. So it has actually enlisted all of these what are expected from the students, what they have to do, which ICs they have to choose. Like it consists of so many instructions. So anyone can have a look here and have a good idea what they need to implement, because understanding the specification is the most important task in my opinion in digital design, because if you don't understand a problem properly, you cannot implement that. Never ever, it is not possible. So as a designer, the first goal for each and every student is to understand what are the specifications, what are the expectations from the designers, what actually needs to be implemented, these things. And an experienced designer always analyzes the specification first with very meticulously, very carefully, and then they proceed, they design circuits, they test and do everything, all of these later stages of this design process. There are many instructions in this MSAP. I will not include all those. This instruction details actually shows which instruction means which things. That means the operation. I will describe only one part here. It actually consists of all the instructions a certain complete MSAP can execute. There are so many instructions, but they are sometimes some for sort of identical. So if one thing is broken, then the rest of the instructions can be easily broken too. There are so many instructions you see, and the descriptions here, which instruction does which task. This needs to be properly understood by the students, because this helps the students a lot to implement the original hardware. This has also great significance in software part too. That means in assembler design. My chosen part is for my student ID, that is that ends with 3. So I have chosen this part. I will actually explain these instructions very shortly, and later I will show you the demo, and also I will show you the main important thing here that I told earlier. So just let's start with this. First instruction is HLT. This means the halt instruction. This halt instruction actually halts the microprocessor. The microprocessor goes into inactive stage. It does not perform any function or do anything. It just stays as it is. You can see that the microprocessor is taking some rest like this. Okay, so this halt instruction is targeted to halt to the processor. The processor will not function. It will just stay as it is. Then second instruction is the return. In short, it is called RET. This return instruction is mainly used for function calling. When a certain function task has been operated, the task has been executed, then you need to return to a main part of this code from where you originated. Then comes out B. This out B means put the ALU content or this result in the B register. Sorry, it means the content of this B register to be output. That means the content of register B will be obtained as an output result from the output buffer port. Call address, this is for function calling. I hope you all know about functions. That means you have to do some specific tasks and then return back to your original code from where you started. For this reason, this call address and return, they are kind of complementary. If one is present, the other must be present. These things all needs to be keep this in mind. Then comes JA address. This JA address means jump if above. It is actually a kind of comparison, and the description is already provided in the specification details, so I will not elaborate it longer. Just in short, this jump if above, it means that a certain comparison is done. If that comparison is greater than some other value, then you have to move to the address specified by this field address. And everyone should keep in this mind that these addresses are 16-bit address. That means you will have actually 2 to the power 16 combinations. That means there are this MSAP is permitted to have 64 kilobyte memory. This 64 kilobyte memory is actually for 16-bit address. 2 power 16, it means 65536. So in short, it is actually called 64 kilobyte memory, just like this. All of these addresses are 16-bit, and another assumption is here, all the data you involve in this set, they are actually hexadecimal. You cannot use other notations here. As I have already mentioned, the most important thing here, I strongly believe that this part is actually not the total assembler I developed for RK8085. This is only a fragment, a certain part of it. That is, I call the machine code generator part. This type of code you actually obtain after the intermediate code generator that I have already explained in my RK8085 assembler tool demo. After that intermediate code generation, you get some sort of very well formatted code like this, and then you convert this to this intermediate code to machine code. That is the main point here. It is only one part, so you require only one pass. You can just scan through the whole file and convert it to machine code. That machine code has a peculiar extension that is with .bin, ASCHEX. I will actually explain it later why you have to use this machine code in this format. Okay, so just to move on with our instructions. Then pop address. This means the content of this of some memory. It will be popped at this address. It will be popped at the provided address that is given by here. For better understanding, just go through the instruction details provided in this PDF. Then our comes move B, address. That means the content of this address will be stored in this B register. Move A byte. This byte is obviously in hexadecimal format. You cannot use other format. Only hexadecimal format is allowed. If you use other type of format, then it will be treated as a syntax error or syntax violation, and your program will be terminated. You will not get any output. I have developed my script like this. You also should develop my like this, because I will not share my code you can see only a small part of this code, but you cannot see the main part, the main processing part I have implemented, because that is the task assigned for you. So you have to think how you can crack this problem. And after this problem, I hope you will get a better understanding of how you can design a very simple assembler. And from that simplicity, from that very simplified view, to you can upgrade your assembler to a much more sophisticated or much more powerful tool, like my RK8085 assembler, because that is the superior. I can call it as the superset. This is actually the subset, like this, because it only implements only a part, that is the machine code generator tool part, not the intermediate code generator with machine code generator. Not the two blocks are here. Here is only one block. So you just have to scan through the whole file and convert it into some format that I will explain in my demo. Then comes mul address A. This means the content of this address should be multiplied by the content of this register A, and that will be stored in this address, the same address location which has been specified here. Then comes not A. It means simply complementing the register content for A. Then push B. It is actually this task, push and pop, they are complementary. If one is present, other must be present. Otherwise, it is not a very good practice. Okay. This push B means the content of this register B, you push this data into a stack memory. A stack is another part of this memory. It is another part of this RAM, where you store the register content directly, and from that register content you get back by popping. So this push and pop operation, you can actually consider it as the just like as yeah, I would say it is push and pop. Kind of this stack memory is like plates. You add one after another. You easily add one after another data, and your stack is being created. And when you remove, then the last data you enter, it is actually come as output. So you can call it as LIFO memory. That means last in, first out memory. There is another memory that is called FIFO memory, that is first in, first out, and last in, first out. There are two types of stack memories are possible. This push and pop, they are complementary. They must both be present together. Then comes add AB. This is a very simple instruction. It means add the content of this register A with register B and store the result in register A. Then comes in address. It is actually taking input from this input port and storing that data, that 8-bit data. You must keep in mind here that our computer is 8-bit, so each and every inputs, outputs, they are also 8-bit. They are operation inside this thing, that is the ALU part of this processor, that is also an 8-bit ALU. The data bus, main data bus, is actually 8-bit. That means only the database. I am calling actually the 8-bit database. So only the data bus and result bus, these two things. I am not talking about the other part of this bus, the central bus of this processor, which can be even larger for your design. Okay, so this data, 8-bit data, is taken as input, and that data is stored in some sort of memory. That address is specified here. Then shift left B, it means shift left the content of this register B and store the data in the same register, that means in register B. Then comes compare CMP A comma address. It means compare the content of this register A with the content of this address, and after this comparison, no result is stored. only certain flags are either high or low. It is the student's duty what actually happens in this compare operation properly and implement that properly in hardware, because here no result is directly stored or get as output. So certain flags either get high or low. There are actually, I think, 5 flags: parity flag, zero flag, carry flag, overflow flag. Like this, there are total 5 flags actually. The students have to implement this properly so that the whole operation process functions as expected. The last one is the CHG address A. It means exchange the content of this address specified by this field with the content of register A. It is a simple exchange operation. That means the content of A, it is stored here, and the content of this address, it is stored in register A. Just this operation. So like this, you can easily identify all of these instructions for you, and you can implement those easily. I will just show here demo for this thing. And another thing I have not told still, that is what is the opcode. This opcode is a very important part of this assembler design. This actually tells the processor that this operation is this one. So you can treat it as the identity or ID of some instructions. There are total 16 instructions, so there should be total 16 IDs, right? And those IDs should be totally unique. They should not overlap with one another, otherwise the processor will get confused. This is the main part of each and every processor design, that tells the processor you do this thing or you do this thing. It is totally dependent on this opcode field. For this reason, this opcode field is so much important, not in terms of hardware design, but also in terms of security perspective. I will not talk about security perspective here. The hardware security part, that is my research. I will not describe it. My main target here is to introduce you this RK MSAP assembler, which I have developed within only 4 hours. Because as I have already mentioned, the RK8085 assembler tool was the big boss. So deconstructing it and taking only a part of it was not that much hard for me. So I have been able to implement it within 4 hours. Okay, so I hope you have understood the instructions. All the instructions are here, and what do they do? They are shown here. You see the out B. That means it displays the content of this register B in output port. You get to this data available at this output, and that is actually an 8-bit data. So then again, we can move for our demo part. That is the main part I will talk about. This is the test code I have developed. The test code for my demo. I have included all the instructions here, total 16 instructions, and this code is kind of arbitrary because my target was not to implement some certain function here properly. I will only show you the demo, what you have to do and why you require this thing. I have already told that this is actually the machine code generator part. It operates on the object code. So I don't like to call this code as direct assembly code. Rather, it is actually the object code version of the some sort of very high level thing, right? That I have already explained for my RK8085 assembler demo. interested ones, please watch that video too, because it will provide you a much more a better idea what I have, how I have developed that very sophisticated tool. This one is the very subset part, and it is not that much hard to implement. I believe everyone can implement this within a couple of hours if they have proper and solid understanding of very basic Python scripting or MATLAB scripting. So just to start, I have already told all of these things. Each and every these instructions, they need to be converted into some machine code, which you can directly upload that code to ROM, the program ROM part of your MSAP computer that you will try to implement. I like to call this ROM as program ROM, because that the purpose of that ROM is to store only the program data, all the instructions, all the data in this ROM, and execute from that. I will. What you are doing here actually. You are converting this sort of object code into some format, very good format, that is the binary code or machine code we say. It is actually in hex format. So you know, all of these instructions are 8-bit. In each and every part of this ROM, you are storing 8-bit data. They can be the data or instruction. Anyone can do. Okay, so this ROM memory is it is actually written by this content, and this content will be executed by the processor properly, and there will be control unit and other parts which will operate on these instructions, all the contents provided by this program ROM. I will show you the output, then you will get a clear idea of what you have to develop. This so I will run my tool now. You just have a glance at this test code. Here all these 16 instructions are here, and I am also in the first line I am moving 99 hexadecimal to register A. Then here I am moving the content of 0055H, this memory address location, to B. Then I am calling some certain function that is stored in line number 15. You see here it is 000FH. That means the content of this memory address at location at 000F, that means 15 will be called, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3 up to here, this line will be actually called here, right? So this is the call function. You can you mention here the line number from where you are doing some certain specific functions, some certain ALU operations, these types of steps. Then I have pushed some value to stack pointer, the stack memory part. So addition, doing some addition. Then I am taking the data to this address, shift lefting, comparing, exchanging, not, pop. All these 16 instructions are here. Okay, I am not this code. It is actually a test code. It does not do certain function, so you don't need to bother about anything. You just have to focus on the idea that everyone is working okay. Another thing I have to mention here, I have provided in my tool that you can use so many spaces between this comma and other the operand. Okay, as I have already explained for my arcade 085 tool, that means you can put multiple spaces here, or you can uh, you can you don't have to use spaces at all. You don't need to use spaces. These are both of these two operations are possible. They are actually equivalent, right? Because we should ignore all of these blank spaces that exists between operands of these instructions. Okay, so just have a glance and I will run my tool. You see, this is my code started, but I have not shown here the main program part that is doing some specific part. So I will run this. I press F5. Okay, so the program has opened. It is telling you to provide the input file name. I want to show you another thing here, that is in my RK MSAP assembler, there are no there are actually no hex file generated here. Just look here, my main code tool and the object file where I have written this object code. There are no machine code generated here. Now I will run my tool. So I have already pressed F5 and it is asking for some window. It is asking for some file name that I will put here the file name as test as it is. Then I press enter. Now it is showing you to provide the output file name. You can either use this notation CR between this greater than and less than sign, or you can use other name or the same name. It doesn't matter. The file will be stored as this file name dot bin comma a capital ASCHEX. The ASC hex, all of these are in uppercase. I will explain to within a bit why you have to provide this file in this format. I will just now press enter, and you see here is one invalid syntax detected for move. It is why. If you look here in this code, here I have provided move b comma a1h. This instruction is not supported by our design, right? By my design that I was told to do. I can only use move a comma byte instruction, but move b comma a1h, this was not my target to implement. So it is, my tool is showing that your code there is an invalid syntax detected for move because there is the register content b there. So it is telling you your program is still running. Do you want to kill it? You don't need to kill it, so just put it cancel. And if you look here, as there is a syntax error, so my dot ASCII hex file trace.bin comma ASCII hex file, it does not contain any data. It is actually blank data. There are no contents here. Why? Because there is a syntax analysis has been found in your provided this object code. Now I am changing this code to move a comma a1h. Then if you look here, there are all the instructions are in our set that I was told to do, right? Now I will run my code again. Okay, the same thing, test, then test. Okay, you see, as there are no syntax errors, so your code has been executed and the full thing has been converted into successfully converted into some sort of machine code in hex format. So just to now look here, what is the output? The output here is test.bin comma ASC hex file. If you open this file, okay, this is the machine code version, right? You see this instruction, all of this test.bin comma ask hex, this file can be directly loaded to the ROM of Proteus, and from that you can simulate. Now I will explain a bit how this is machine code has been formatted. The first instruction, move a comma 99h. This instruction has this format. In the first line, you will put the opcode of this command, that means 07. Then you will have to put the data that you need to operate. That means 99. You should not include this h. You should not include H, you should only include 99. It will be treated as hex value by this ROM for this .asc hex format. As it is .bin file, it means that it is actually a binary file, the binary representation file, the binary machine code. It has been just stored as some sort of hex format, which is suitable for our Proteus simulation. 07 and 99, that is for our first command. Then second command, move b comma 00ffh. Then 06, it is the opcode of this type of instruction. Then 00ff, if you look here, our memory address is actually this one, right? 00ff. H is the hexadecimal notation. You have to ignore this. And there are two parts actually. One is the upper byte part, and other one is the lower byte part. The upper byte part is the 00, then lower byte part is FF. So when you are storing, trying to store this machine code, it has this type of format: first machine code, then this lower byte, then upper byte. Okay, then call 00FFH. This has very similar instruction to our previous this move instruction. The first one is the opcode for call, that is 03. Then this address, first comes the lower byte 0f, then comes the upper byte 00. So 03 0f 00. Okay, then our push b, this has it is only 1 byte, so only the opcode is stored, that is 0a. Then add ab, it has the 0b. All of these are opcodes, right? So add ab, then in 1 to feh, then opcode for in is 0c. Then my address is here 1 2 and fe. Fe is the lower byte, 1 2 is the higher byte. Okay, remember all of these data will be stored in your program ROM, and from that program ROM will supply all of this data sequentially, and your processor will operate on this properly. Okay, the first part is the opcode, then this data. Always remember this. This is a very important part for machine code generation. I have applied the same technique in my sophisticated RK8085 assembler too. The same technique, the same principle, because since Intel processors actually operates, it has this sort of format set by the architects. Then shift left B, it has only the power, the opcode part, that is 0e. No address is associated with it. Then compare A 1F02. Compare is 02. It is the opcode. Then 0F and 1F, right? 02 and 1F, and 0e is actually the opcode. So 1F 02 is the address, and 0e is the opcode. Then 0F, this is from this notation I can directly recognize it at some sort of opcode. That opcode is for this for exchange command. For this exchange command, my opcode is 0f. The address is 12fe. So again, previous notation, 12 is the higher byte, fe is the lower byte. Then 0905, or you can figure out all of these things here, just like as before. First one is the opcode, then data or address. And if that is an address, first will come the lower byte data, then higher byte data. This is the structure, right? So some instructions have only 1 byte, and some instructions has 2 or 3 bytes. You can clearly identify this from this machine code generated. The reason here to put .bin comma ASCII is to for Proteus simulation. If you don't put a file in this format, maybe your ROM will not work properly in Proteus. This is the main reason, and You see, this is a quite very simplified version of my previously developed RK8085 assembler. So this is only a very smaller part for MSAP. The student only needs to do this, and from this they can easily try to run this in their designed hardware in Proteus, the processor, the full processor, and test this. They can easily test this and change some certain commands, resimulate and validate the results they have obtained. So this was the overall view of this RK MSAP assembler tool. Each and every student should try to develop this sort of very basic assembler. After developing this basic assembler, they can target for much more sophisticated thing like I have already developed for just as RK8085 assembler. For the hardware part, I will encourage everyone to look at one of our seniors video. His name is Abdullah Ibn Mahmoud. If you look at his YouTube channel, you can get this MSAP computer hardware demo. He has already shown how you can design this processor in Proteus. Just have a look there. It is very helpful. It also helped me in my project. This project we didn't actually need to submit. There were some issues. There were some issues, and for those issues, our teachers didn't count those to our final grades. But I am so much fascinated to computers, hardwares, assembler design that I developed these as my self project or hobby project. Assembler design is kind of my hobby. I love to develop various types of assemblers, Python based assemblers. This is the second demo you are seeing in my channel. You are watching, but many more will come. Next will come RK8086 assembler, then RK MSAP assembler. All of these assemblers I am developing. They are really these types of projects strengthens my research skill, my implementation skill. Only this programming and implementation part is so important. I encourage everyone, every EEE student to learn scripting language, at least one scripting language very well. It can be either Python or tool command language. Initially, they can start with Python because Python is very easy language. You can easily learn it. You can learn it within a couple of weeks. Then you can start working with this type of project, right? Because all of the things here I have actually developed parser, right? You have to also need to develop this Python based assembler parser. So that is everything from me today. Thank you. I will not make my video much longer. Thank you, everyone. Bye.